Plus that bonus chance. You can sign up anytime for the one today. Just go to thewoodyshow.com. It's thewoodyshow.com. After hours takeover.
What is this?
The Woody Show. It's Wednesday morning. And what are the trending news headlines, Greg Gorey?
Well, more details, of course, on the Nashville shooting at Covenant Elementary School. More info is out on that, including that the shooter, and this info was basically reversed yesterday, including right here on the Woody Show. The shooter was a 28-year-old woman who identified as a transgender male. It was so confusing. It was so confusing.
It's all confusing.
I'm not going to lie. Because on my way to work, like you, Woody, I flip around different news stations.
Yeah.
So many of them were saying identified as a transgender female. Others were saying a woman identifying as a male. Which one do you...
Right.
All right.
It was very confusing.
Legit question. I'm not trying to be funny here or sarcastic at all. When you say transgender male, that to me says that it was a woman who now identifies as a guy. Or a transgender female was a guy who now identifies as a female. Do I have that right?
That's how I understand it.
Or is that like what's the?
I thought it was
the rule? It's like I after
female.
C except that I before E
Right.
except after C. That's like what's the rule?
I thought it was female to male.
Were we not saying this yesterday, Rave? Off the air, we were having this. I said, if you say transgender male, does that mean you're now male?
Yeah.
It means you were born a woman.
Okay.
Biologically.
So but if you identify as a transgender male,
I identify as confused.
right?
You're biologically a woman.
A woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so this shooter was biologically a woman,
Okay.
identified as transgender male, as they say.
This
Anyway,
counts against your record, ladies.
right.
Usually
That's-
I'm the one shooting places up.
That's really odd.
So she got to the school just before 10 a.m., sent some messages to friends saying she was about to be in the news, was planning to die, and that this, quote, wasn't a joke. So sent all these messages.
Yeah.
Then at 10:10, blasted that gun into a door in order to get into the school. By 10:18, just calmly walking down the halls, they know that because they have it on video, picked her victims at random. Those were the 3 students and 3 faculty members. Officers arrived by 10:21, and then by 10:27, she was shot twice and was dead. So now officials are still going over that manifesto where there were drawings of the school, drawings for some reason of the guns. And I'm sure more info on that manifesto is going to be released in the next few days.
There were a couple articles I saw that were low-key trying to drum up sympathy for this person.
Really?
Because of what what they must have gone through as a transgender person. And like, okay, so again, I don't care why you do something like this. It's the fact that you did it. Is there any kind of reasoning or whatever thing that you had in your mind as to why you did it? I refuse to sympathize with you at all.
Never, ever would I sympathize with that.
What they identify should be 0 factor.
Yeah.
It should be that they murdered people.
Right.
No kidding, they were emotionally unstable or what? Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
To be able to do something like that, or even like plan something like that. They're gonna go into a school with little kids, or go in anywhere, just start shooting the place up.
Right. It's unfathomable.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I'm not interested in the excuses or the backstory or anything like that.
You've probably heard about or seen the man in the news before, Adnan Syed. If you looked him up, you would absolutely recognize him. Spent 2 decades behind bars for the 1999 murder of his ex-girlfriend, Heyman Lee. A high-profile case, especially in the podcast that's called Serial.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So 8 years.
That's what. Okay, I knew it sounded familiar.
Yeah, and if you see his photo, you'll be like, oh.
This took off in the podcast world, kind of way the Making a Murderer did.
Right.
With Netflix.
Absolutely. Because 8 years they looked into his conviction, even led to him being freed.
Right.
Because questions were raised about his conviction and his legal representation. It's a very, very long, drawn-out case.
Super convoluted.
Very. So a Maryland court, though, just reinstated his conviction because they ruled that the victim's brother, Young Lee, had his rights violated during the hearing by violating his right to attend a key hearing. So they said that he wasn't given enough notice to appear, and he appeared on Zoom, but that he should have been there in person. It's more of a legal issue than anything else.
And that's enough to put this guy back in jail?
They didn't necessarily say he's going to go back in jail, and there's 60 days for them to work things out. So is it going to change the fact that Adnan Syed was freed? We don't know, and they don't think so.
They said probably not.
His lawyers say no, he'll stay a free man.
Okay.
But technically, legally, his murder conviction has been reinstated.
Oh, here comes another new season of the podcast.
I know, right?
The serial folks are like,
They're like,
great.
nice.
Right, but if you
That's terrible.
look at the Wikipedia page for Adnan Syed, it is
It's
a mile long,
Yeah.
and it's so legally complicated.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is going to make him go back behind bars. It's just that legally, technically, the murder conviction's been reinstated.
Wouldn't that be weird if the brother, Young Lee, was actually the older brother?
That would be so weird.
So weird.
That'd be so weird.
My older brother, Young.
Yeah, that would be very weird. We got a couple of major business deals in the works. So the group that Magic Johnson is part of, the Johnson Harris Rails Group, they've offered to buy the Washington Commanders for $6 billion. And that is what Dan Snyder wants for the team. So that could mean that Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z won't get the team. And apparently Dan Snyder also got interest from this Canadian billionaire,
Oh, yeah.
Steve Apostolopoulos,
Mhm.
and got an offer apparently from the owner of the Houston Rockets.
All for what he wants, so it's just like,
Yeah, you
because they
just
want
choose.
this guy out of the
Yeah, it'll
league.
be so great to have Dan Snyder out of the NFL.
Because they want him out.
Yeah, his
The
magic
loser.
number, I guess, was $6 billion, and
Yeah.
that's what they're offering him. So who knows? Like, he's got a bunch of offers on the table now.
Yeah, I thought there was something that said there was some report about how they weren't going to sell to Jeff Bezos. They weren't interested in selling to Jeff Bezos
Oh, really?
with and Jay-Z.
Well,
I'm
he's
sure
got.
the other owners weren't
I'm
like
sure
it.
the owners would not have been crazy about that ownership group. They'd be much more comfortable with like this Magic Johnson group.
Yeah.
It's on the same level of wealth because, you know.
And
Jeff has
familiarity
endless
with
money.
sports, running a team, you know, that kind of stuff.
Dan's got offers now to consider. And speaking of Jeff Bezos, though, it looks like Amazon is looking to buy AMC. Neither company, though, is commenting on it, but apparently Jeff Bezos, quote, dispatched his investment advisors.
Oh, he dispatched?
Yeah, he just, hey guys, investment advisors, dispatch.
Yeah, this AMC thing, look into it.
Yeah, look into it. So they are exploring that acquisition.
It's interesting.
So
I know
yeah.
at one point there was like a lot of talk about Amazon potentially buying this company or a piece of this company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they've been desperately looking for content for all their devices. And so they keep trying all these different things on their own and they can't nail it. They got some other thing now they're trying to, not necessarily panning out the way they had hoped. And so eventually they're probably going to end up buying a content provider, which is, what this company does in addition to all the other things. And like when that rumor started going around, I was psyched.
Same.
I was like, all right, now look, if you're going to get sold to somebody, it'd be pretty cool to be owned
Yeah,
by
of course.
by Amazon, because maybe we wouldn't hear about things like we're not matching the 401k,
Yeah.
The healthcare coverage.
right? Yeah, like
stuff,
we would be
yeah.
nickel and they still nickel and dime to a certain degree,
Of course.
Mhm.
but
But not as
not to the degree that these other companies are, because they're so much
I'm
more
down.
diversified. I mean, they got rockets and they got
Yeah.
deliveries of
Sure.
goods.
Yeah.
Oh, and some radio stations,
everything in
this
between.
and that, and some medication
Streaming
stuff.
services.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. So I'm like,
Because to build out that much, I don't know, manpower to build that much content for
yeah,
everything
infrastructure that you
takes
need,
forever.
and you need the right people,
Yeah.
and everybody thinks they can do it, and
then
they
try.
can't necessarily
Yeah.
do it.
And
So many people, how many times have you heard people go like, "Oh, that's easy, I can do that," and then they do it, and it's like,
Oh, now.
Everybody says that.
right.
And they have a streaming service that shows awesome movies.
Yeah, or the TV show.
Yeah.
I've been talking about.
That's what everybody says.
I've been talking about Swarm with.
Swarm, yes.
Yeah.
Donald Glover's new show.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good. It's on
I'm
Amazon.
looking forward to watching some X.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. That's what's happening with.
All right, thank you very much, Greg Gorey.
Jim.
We're gonna take a quick break. More Woody shows next time.